For Yebeka last week by this time on the 7th of January na parliament ayeho na Ghana nya parliament wasem na yenya nim nsem esese na baako na eye very prominent pan say Carlos Ahenkora snatch ballot papers na ode dwane empo ode bi hye ne numa na anka ore ne sa video no eba out no nipa bebre na kan say member of parliament for Swame constituency back then na oye majority leader Mr. Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu na ohye ne kutupa say onko treat ballot papers ni dwane no. A lot of videos circulated that e be impo editing say it was Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu and also Carlos Ahenkora say onko sa ballot papers no Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu finally abeka say also no Carlos Ahenkora na oye no because no Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu no oye leader. There was nowhere and catch Carlos Ahenkora say onko treat ballot papers in Jan. He said there was no way he was going to do that as a then na swaye also no Carlos Ahenkora eba na nchen ebe catch and say honorable niema enko you but no or catch and say masa pe baby tina what you say ko pe baby tina maswaye ni obi ho an say Carlos Ahenkora afa ballot papers a ode dwane or say ono mom de ogide pa say Carlos Ahenkora was possessed by the spirit of Usain Bolt. Yes, or say ogide say Usain Bolt spirit and asada ebe ra Carlos Ahenkora mu no na Carlos Ahenkora so nti anye yi be me kukudama omuso ni mo empo Mutaka Mubarak say obunani Mutaka Mubarak give him a lot of slaps on his head. Yonkotie Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu enimunyamfo. A colleague of mine came, he wanted to engage me, right? And I was urging him to move away because I wanted to see how the counting was going. Because I said to him that he should look at every ballot to see that it belonged to Alban, right? Just at the same time, Carlos also came to stand by me. So the man
Carlos came to you, whispered something to you, Carlos and then you signaled him to go ahead. And before I realized, he snatched the ballot papers. Did you see me say he should? I said he should move away from me.
That's what you told Carlos?
Yeah, he came to me and he said to me, leader, I'm quoting him.
I don't know if you have the videos of that where Carlos came and
yes, he said, before. Leader, I'm just telling you what he told me.
Okay.
Leader, and he, and this is for our speaker Nana. I said, Carlos, what do you mean? We finished voting. We are going to do the counting. Indeed, we have started counting. What do you mean? At that time, I wanted to concentrate on the counting. I said, Carlos, please move away from me, please. I was waving him aside. Please move away from me. I don't know what spirit, affected him. Whether the spirit of, he said yesterday when he came to me to apologize, the first time after the incident that I saw him, he came to my office yesterday to apologize. So I was asking him, were you affected by the spirit of Usain Bolt? He said no, not Usain Bolt. He prefers to be associated with Carl Lewis. So we all laughed over it. Yesterday was the first time he stepped into my office after this unfortunate event to come and apologize to me. Right? So that is what I told him. And then, for whatever reason, he dashed and then whisked the ballots away from the officer of parliament and attempted to bolt away, overpowered by the people from the marshal's department, and these things retrieved. But I was coming to the point, relating to these things to clear the air. Don't forget, Carlos himself, the following morning, came out with a statement that he acted on his own volition. Why people should still be clinging to that suspicion that Kyei Mensah Bonsu, it was who instructed him. When Carlos said, you know him, then he comes out to say a statement, a written statement, that I acted on my own volition.
Therefore, that was Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu right there. I'm speaking about matters arising, and of course, Carlos Ahenkora. He also made certain revelations. More and more, NDC for a winning with that election, or say more say NDC for Enya 138, and the elected speaker. No, according to Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu, that other ballot, no, it wasn't counted in tune to me in Kase NDC for Enya 138. Or say Empono after your county and MP before the DNA and 136 with one sports ballot, no, now or say okay for the time being send a beya near my beya count or parliament, no, almost for our back benensis so 2 weeks later no na omaye another rerun another election na ono de o say omo nya na omo gitu omo say Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu sorry Osei Kyei Mensah omo nya na omo gitu omo say Mr. Albansumana Kingsford Bagbin MBS Speaker of Parliament na enye say o win is elections na entia na ensem na o de to dwa no ye beba eno so ba ma menka mo say Dr. Amos na wasomas ni Dr. Amos say whatever you have whatever problem you have with your genital meka emema wansam na meka no say brana so ye na bibia ebe kama bision for yenkoti Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu mra ye ba ebe to ankomo ne so.
Or we just began the count and the unfortunate incident happened. How can you say that? How can we conclude that all 138 are for the other person?
So where did the 138 come from? The 138 figure?
The 138, yes, they put it out there, which is why I came. It was my colleagues, because Okudjeto Blackwell, it was who said that, Alban had garnered 138. And I said, how? I asked him how.
So Alban didn't get 138?
We didn't count it. We didn't count it.
Why didn't you count it?
Because of what happened. And you see...
Because Carlos snatched the ballot papers.
He snatched the ballot papers. They succeeded in retrieving the ballot papers, right, from him. And apparently he had thrown some of them down. They retrieved all of those. And when we went and when they retrieved it, Muntaka then took over. So when we went into the room, when they came to... At that time, I was oblivious of happenings. Mm-hmm. But when they did this, they took it to the speaker's holding room. And I came to call myself and Haruna that we should come so that we resolve this impasse. So when we went there, right, they asked, how do we resolve this case? And I said, well, the first attempt, as I just related to, and as Ghanaians saw, had been truncated. The second attempt truncated. The third attempt truncated. This is the fourth that has also been truncated. We need to start anew to have a rerun, right? And then Haruna said, look, let me engage. He stepped out and came back to the room to say that my colleagues, my compatriots are saying that they will not accept a rerun. At that time, we had begun the consensus building. So then I put out a second plan. Okay, and I was realistic. Don't forget, we had started 12 midnight.
Yes.
And up to 8 o'clock, we had not succeeded in electing a speaker. The next program, the swearing in of the president, was to commence at 10 a.m. Right? So I said, okay, can we have a fallback plan? And the fallback plan that I proposed was that the Honorable Bagbin should be deemed as having been elected for now to enable him to be sworn in by the Chief Justice. He would in turn swear in the members of Parliament. And I'm quoting myself, when cooler heads prevail, and I believe within the next 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, we can have a rerun of this contest.
Really?
Yes. That was what I proposed. I think my colleague Haruna Dusu was not expecting that. So he said, Ida, let me go and consult again. He stepped out. And about 10 minutes came back and said to me that had also been rejected. So I threw it to him that in that case, what do we do? At that time, Okudjeto Blackwell entered. So I repeated, Haruna was standing there, so I repeated it to him. So Harun, and that's how I usually call him, Harun, so what do we do? And Okudjeto Blackwell, it was who interjected and said, well, Bagbin should be considered as having been elected. And I said, on what account? He said that 138 votes, ballots were outstanding. So we should credit Bagbin with it. And I said, look, in counting the 137, one ballot was rejected. And you see, that may relate to the events because, when they started, they pulled the ballots out and started with the counting. The officers of Parliament who were in charge of the counting, the one who was in charge, he would just pull out the ballot, straighten it out, and put it there. He had piled up about between 8, 10 of the sheets. He was not looking at who had, however, the votes had been had been done. He would just take the paper, stretch it out, and put it there. Put the paper without
later sort it out.
Yes.
So the intention was to later sort it out.
The intention was to later sort it out. So I asked him, Eben, what are you doing? Because he was close to me. So I asked him, what are you doing? And he said to me, oh, leader, I'm just stretching it out. We'll later do the counting. So I thought at that time, maybe they want to count because 275 votes, people had voted.
Yeah.
They want to count first to see that we have 275 ballots, right? Or maybe if there is any overvoting, then they could determine, right? So that was what he told me. But after I asked him that question, and he had given me that response, then the next one that he picked up, he looked at it. When he stretched it out, right? When he unfolded it, he looked at it and put it on the other side. That was the first time he was doing that. The second one after, he looked at it and put it on where he had stacked the first 10, 8 or 10. So after doing that, I asked him the second question. Eben, so what are you doing now? He said, oh, leader, we just want to begin the sorting out. The person is sorting out in the precon. That's what he said. Right? So, seriously, I was skeptical about the first stack.
About 7 or 8 or so.
Yes. 8 or 10 that he had put there. It is the reason why when they finished counting.
All right, so that was Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu once again talking about matters arising and then all of that. And then if Yebet Kaya, after the 7th parliament was dissolved, inaugurating the 8th parliament, a lot of issues came up. As it stands now, Matisse Alban Bagbin afre both sides of parliament, that is the NPP and the NDC, Senebeya on Betumi Arichi agreement. And then as it stands now, we do not have a majority leader, neither do we have a minority leader, because we have 137 members on the side of the NDC and as well as 137 on the side of the NPP, with the Formina MP who is the second deputy speaker of parliament being the outstanding, and even he himself, Mr. Andres Amwaku Esiama, has written officially to the speaker of parliament saying that is going to sit or is going to be with the NPP caucus and parliament not taking anything away from it. Then the NPP would have 138 as against the 137 of the NPP of the NDC in parliament. A lot of parliamentary results have been contested, and as it stands now, Hohoi constituency, Peter Amewu seat is still being contested, and as well as Asen North, James Jachikwesen FI, and still the NPP are contesting. Mr. James Jachikwesen on yet Ghana, and he has a Canadian citizenship. According to the laws of Ghana, one must renounce every other citizenship and then pronounce himself or declare himself as a Ghanaian citizen before he would be eligible to be a member of parliament. And the NPP as well are contesting the Jomoro seat. Yes, Jomoro seat, Fantana, Madam Dokas, on winning our seat, NPP 4L contested. Until at the end of the day, we are going to see how things will play out. Once again, we all know that John Dramani Mahama has also petitioned the Supreme Court to order a rerun of the 2020 elections. It's praying the Supreme Court to announce or to direct the Electoral Commission to ensure that a rerun is being done, because on the GBA said the NDC didn't win the elections, and then as well the NPP didn't win the elections. What do you make of it? Interesting times ahead. Ghana ebeye the year. Permission for a Ghana page. Keep your thoughts coming in the comment section below. Do you think Osei Kyei Mensah Bonsu is being truthful, or do you think just like any other politician is spewing lies into the eyes of the public? So subscribe to this channel, of course, on YouTube, Ghana page, and follow us across social media on Facebook, GhPage News, on Instagram, at GhPage News, on Twitter, at GhPage_com. You can also visit our website, www.ghpage.com. My name remains Gypsum, and as always, your MC General. How are you guys?